Hello, my name is Father John Vidmar. I'm in the History Department and I teach history and Western civilization. Today we're talking about the second Sunday of Advent, and I want to talk about John the Baptist, who is trying to get us to pay attention. This is not as easy as it sounds. There's a lot to distract us. Sometimes we don't want to pay attention. Sometimes paying attention is very difficult. There's a story about a pitcher who used to pitch for the Pittsburgh Pirates back in the 20s. His brother was Stan Coveleski for the Cleveland Indians, and Stan is in the Hall of Fame. His brother, George, is not in the Hall of Fame, and there may be a good reason in that he had trouble paying attention. There's a story about him letting somebody on base toward the end of the season. It was an important game. It was late in the game. Person gets on first base and on the first pitch runs to second base and steals, standing up. The manager of the Pirates is furious. He comes running out to the mound and he said, "Why didn't you do something about the guy on first? Why didn't you hold him on first? You weren't even looking over there." And George responded, "I'm sorry, coach. I didn't know there was anybody on first base." And baseball is like that. People step out of the box all the time to try to get focused, try to make sure they know how many outs there are, what they're supposed to do if they catch the ball, etc., etc. What does John the Baptist want us to pay attention to? I think, first of all, we need to pay attention to what God has done for us, to creation, to life, to its extravagance, to the fact that we have it. I had a high school teacher, taught sophomore year in world literature. He was a football coach, and he was, in Ohio law, you had to be a teacher as well as a coach, and he was mostly a football coach. After everything we read sophomore year, every single thing, no matter what it had to do with humor, satire, history, biography, a serious essay, it didn't matter. After each piece, he would shake his head and say, "Bitter irony, bitter irony." The whole year was like that. I think when we look at life, instead of shaking our heads and saying bitter irony, what we need to do is to say something like stupendous, amazing, fantastic. How do we pay attention? There's no trick to it. It comes from practice. It comes from constant monitoring. The church gives us all kinds of devotions, sacraments, the Mass, various prayers. And these are all ways for us to worship God, to notice what He has done. If you've ever been in a car with a bird watcher, and I don't recommend it, you will begin to realize that he or she who is driving is seeing all kinds of things that you are not. You are hurtling down the road at 65 miles an hour, and all of a sudden the driver says, "There is a red-tailed hawk in that tree about 100 yards off to the right." And you are bewildered. What tree on the right? And it has passed you by. Or the guide who points out something about a painting you've never noticed before. You've seen it 50 times, and they say, "Notice this," and you have never noticed it before. Annie Dillard, in her book, Pulitzer Prize-winning book, Pilgrim at Tinker Creek, describes rounding the corner of a 4-story building and seeing a mockingbird take a step off the gutter at the very top. It plummeted 4 stories, wings still folded close to its body, when at the last moment, this bird pulled up and landed perfectly. Dillard writes, "It was almost as if he had done it for fun." And she continues, "There was no one else in sight. The fact of his free fall was like the old philosophical problem about the tree that falls in the forest. If I had not seen it, would it have fallen so beautifully, so gracefully? The answer must be, I think, that beauty and grace are performed whether or not we will see or sense them. The least we can do is try to be there. The Lord performs for us all the time. He has created us. He has given us extravagant gifts. He has saved us. Let our lives consist in making ourselves aware of this, thankful for this, a little more able to notice and say, stupendous, staggering, fantastic. Christ is coming. The least we can do is try to be there.